Welcome back to Slightly Average Guys. We got average guy Ryan on the left-hand side. You got average guy Ryan on the right-hand side. What does that make you? Ryan squared, or in other words, a Ryan sandwich. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for subscribing. Anything that you guys want to do to share this with your friends or family, we would much appreciate it because we just like
Do it,
shooting the shit.
do it, do it.
I'm saying, if you do,
You won't.
Ryan will send you. Ryan 3 will send you 100 Monopoly dollars via a cryptocurrency known as Air. Okay, as long as we do that, that's what's gonna happen. So let us know. But we're gonna jump right into it. Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm good. I could be slightly better. My phone is broken.
Oh,
so
so you're kind of going blind. Most people don't know right before this. I always text to make sure everybody can join or this or that. Andy's busy this today, so he couldn't join us. But I didn't hear anything from Ryan, so I was just like, all right, I guess I'll hop on, see if he jumps in. And thankfully, you just happened to like go sit down at your computer at the right time.
I went to go sit down on my computer, and it's been on for a while. And when I turned it on, like the screens were kind of black, and like the icons were all over the place. So I was like, I'm just gonna restart. As soon as I restart, putting notification, I was like, crap. One, we switched this to Tuesdays.
Yep.
Two, we do this once a month now instead of once a week. So it's like, you kind of forget until like you're looking and then your text messages. And I was like, well, I can make it, but I'm gonna be late. So definitely running into this a little bit blind, but it's all right. That's what this is average, slightly average, guys.
Yeah,
So we're good.
I'll be honest. Today, I've been running at a slightly below average brain power. I don't know what it is. I can't get my brain to engage today. There's a whole monster amount of stuff that I'm supposed to do, but I think it's because it started off with a few different staff like meetings, and those always like everybody's like, everybody give your update. Not a single person listens to somebody else. You're just like, all right, here's what I'm gonna say when I say it. Am I up next? No. All right, fine. I'm up next now. All right, pay attention. Say my
I was in
spiel.
a meeting today, and they were like, Ryan, what do you think? And I was like, what are we talking about? I was not paying attention at all.
What was it? Was it a live meeting or was it like
Oh
video
yeah, no,
conference?
it was what's a oh
Like a
sorry,
Zoom call.
it was a Teams meeting.
Okay, then you just say, "I'm sorry, guys, you just cut out." What did you ask me?
No, but I was just like, I wasn't paying attention. Sorry, multitasking. So yeah, that happened, but it's not that big of a deal. It's not like it was with anybody important. So, well, I mean, everybody's important, but
Yeah,
wasn't
it
with
was
high
just
level people.
yeah, it wasn't like, hey, any mission critical things that were to like push some project forward. That's why I think whenever you start a day off with those meetings, it's like you're not going to go up. Productivity is just going to go down.
Yeah,
Not what I'm looking for, and the whole day went like that for me. So just spiraled into craziness. But maybe it's because I'm coming off of a high, right? I'm coming off of a high, and what I mean by that is I've been putting some stuff off for quite a while. Some house stuff like we needed our side gate rebuilt. We did that over last couple weekends and things like that. It came out looking great, so I was feeling motivated. Those that don't know, I have a Mercedes I've had for like 12 years, and the last 4 of it is set in my driveway. Two of those years it hasn't run because it needed a fuel pump. And Mercedes are like incredibly hard to work on. I've had BMWs, Audis, a whole bunch of different German cars. Mercedes is just ridiculous. So it needed a fuel pump, and the fuel pump's obviously under the car. It's not an in tank, but it's above the rear differential. Still under the car, but above something else that you can't see. So it's just a pain in the butt. So,
you don't just open up the gas lid and the fuel pumps there.
Yeah. See, and you can't drop. There's no way to drop the fuel tank. The fuel tank's between the back trunk. It's actually a subframe piece because it's built into the divider between the trunk and the inside of the Roadster car.
No way.
It just like exponentially gets harder and harder and harder to try to explain. But I haven't put the whole thing off. It's just like each time I go to try to do it, you get so frustrated is what I'm trying to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you just justify in your head, whatever, fine, just not going to do it. I'll do it some other time. I'll buy this tool or whatever. Anyway, so I've been like trying to get this thing to run for like 2 years. And by that, I mean, I've really just been super procrastinating. So this weekend, I was like, all right, we had stuff I think on Saturday, and I'm like, Sunday, I got to get home from church. I'm gonna like, you know, get down. My son wanted to
Let's
help
do
me for
this.
a great time. Like I was like, it'll be a little bonding moment. He, helped me out for all of 36 seconds, and then went away. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna do this, and I'm messing with it and messing with it and messing with it, and I get to a point where I hit that frustration block, and I'm like, I'm not gonna let this get to me. I'm not gonna let it get to me. I'm not gonna put this off anymore.
Gonna
But I'm tired
persevere.
of trying to do things the right way. Is what my problem was. I
Yeah.
was trying to get these hose clamps off, and I was finally to a point where I was like, no, nope, nope, nope. And I'm like, gotta go through my garage. I'm like, I'm gonna find a Dremel. I'm just gonna cut the hose clamps off. They're European hose clamps. They're but it's around a fuel pump. Again, not really what you want to do.
You didn't cut the hose, did you?
No, because I had to reuse the hoses because they were these specially bent. They're not, again, crazy, crazy, crazy setup. So anyway, so we get all the way through, hit a point where I'm like, I can't take it anymore. All right, I'm just gonna go get my Dremel. Then my Dremel is no longer. I don't know where it is. Don't know where it is. I think of the last time we used it, we broke it. So don't have one. I'm like, I am not gonna go spend like $100 on a Dremel tool. So again, like, nope. I'm just gonna go to Harbor Freight. I literally went to Harbor Freight. They had a $10 one that I had a like $6 coupon. I think I paid $4 for this thing.
Damn.
Yeah. Now,
I've never stepped foot into a Harbor Freight, and I really want to.
it's like if you like tools that you can also afford, but they're gonna work like 10% of the
Twice.
time, like like if you don't abuse things and you're just like doing stuff around the house or whatever, like they're actually decent tools. But like you really start to like impact drivers and drill bits. No, don't.
Yeah.
So anyway, so go there, get this $4 thing. At this point, it's so dark outside. It's not pitch black, but I'm like, it's not safe to crawl underneath a car where there's scorpions and stuff. So I'm like, whatever. So then Monday rolls around yesterday. And I'm like, I'm gonna finish this. So at like 2, I decide
Is this
I'm
the
done.
vacation day? Monday? Is that day?
No, like literally, like I'm
Oh,
still supposed to work at like 2. I just decide I'm gonna like stop early, go get Byron,
what a
uh,
go-getter.
bring him home. I was like, you can help me work on it. He's like, yeah, cool. So he's helping me work on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, get the thing off, cut the stuff off, move on to a few extra steps. It's fighting me a little bit, and I'm like, just reposition, staying calm and cool. Anyway, long story short, got all the dang parts in it. Literally went to turn the key in the car, and I'm like, man, like the likelihood that something else is wrong is like very, very high.
Can I ask a question? When to
Uh,
turn the key for the first time and how long?
Um, and not as long as you think.
Oh, okay.
I turned it over like once every other month, because it would crank like with the fuel pump in the uh, it just didn't pump. It was just dead. So like
Yeah.
there's no fuel pressure, so it wouldn't crank over, but it had spark and it would turn the motor over. So
Okay. All right.
right. So it hadn't been like years since I turned the motor over. It'd been a couple weeks, or yeah, a couple weeks since the last time I had screwed around trying to make the old one work.
Okay.
Anyway, so turn the key. I'm like, man, it's probably not going to fire on the first attempt. It's one of the keys that like you literally just turn to the start. You don't have to hold it, and it'll attempt for a good like 30 seconds and stop. Went, did it literally after like a second and a half. This car fires up and starts running. I'm like, I can't believe this. I like immediately shut it off just to make sure because it's got cobwebs and
Yeah,
leaves
buddy.
and everything all around it. So blew some of that stuff out. And then just proceeded to record and then turn the key again because I said nobody's gonna believe me, all my buddies back in Indiana, unless I record this and send it to you. So
That's
anyway,
great.
so I've been putting stuff off. I'm feeling good. That was my high. I think I must have peaked early in the week.
That's a good high.
That was the reason. And what about you? Have you been putting anything off that you're finally getting to, or there's things that you now feel you should get to because you've put them off?
When you feel accomplished like that, just first comment, you feel really good. And you're like, man, why do I just procrastinate all the time?
Hmm.
Because it feels so good to finish something, to do something, to knock it off the bucket list, to check it off, whatever you want to call it. Feels so good. But yes, I procrastinate. I think this is just the Slightly Average Guys podcast. And so
Yep.
I'm pretty sure everybody listening and everybody that will be listening is putting off everything. You want
Hmm.
me to give you 3 examples? Boom. 1, thank you cards from my wedding. Why the fuck am I procrastinating on that? Just get it done.
Yeah.
Just get it done. I'm so appreciative of everybody that came and what they had did to support us. Like, just get it done, Ryan. We got like 5 left.
So it's not even like you've put the whole thing off. It's like the last little itty bitty bit is what's left.
Here's the thing, just like you hit a wall, just like you I don't want to spend $100, just like,
Hmm.
any situation. We ran out of thank you cards.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, wow, now we gotta go to Amazon and get thank you cards. So number one. Two, procrastinating going back to the gym. We got this
Oh,
house.
yeah.
I quit Eat the Frog because it was a half an hour distance drive. I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. And I haven't been back to the gym since.
Uh huh.
Oh
Uh
my
huh.
gosh, dude.
You
So I
get off
just
of
went.
that. Get off of that regular, cycle in your schedule. It's so hard to get back
I
on it.
know. And then the
And
third thing.
working's out's the same way as like feeling fulfilled with just doing a crazy task, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't know what it is with our human brain that's like, no, I don't want to do that. Whatever else. Like if you think of every time you've ever worked out, you've never gotten done, been like, wish I wouldn't have done that. You always feel great
That
when you're
was
done.
stupid.
Yeah, yeah. You feel tired or sweaty, and you're like, gotta take a shower. But it's like you've never like, oh, that was a terrible decision.
Yeah. Never doing that ever again.
Yeah.
And then the third thing, and I did finish it, and this is where you're like, hell yeah, I'm on a high. Like I'll be good for at least another month and a half. I finally got my PMP, which I think we talked about in the last
Yep.
one. And
Hmm.
again, I took this course, not to reiterate the last one, but I took the course in like late August. Procrastinated, didn't study, didn't look at material. I was stressing hardcore, and then luckily I passed it first try. So that was like the high, right? You're at a high, and you can go on.
Yeah.
But I did go to the gym today
Ooh.
to try to sign up, and I selected a membership and yada yada yada. I could have signed up via credit card, which they would have charged a fee for that, a monthly fee. So I'm like, no, no, thank you. It's a waste of $24 a month,
Hmm.
or 30 with whatever, $2.75, 50 cents. Um, and when I did that, I was like, okay, perfect. I'll sign up with my checking account. Well, my phone don't work and I can't check it, even though I had my phone with me because I was like, maybe I'll go to the store. But it got too late. But yeah, so it just putting off a lot of stuff. Everybody does it. Welcome to the Slightly Average Guys podcast, but it feels so good,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
crisp when you finally check off something.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to get myself into that motivation, right? Like, um, one of the things that is on the list to talk about and different stuff was like a yes theory, right? There's some YouTube videos you can go. Their channel literally is called Yes Theory. Used to be called Seek Discomfort because that's where we all grow the most is
Yeah.
when you're out of your comfort zone, and that's where we're like you just should live because comfort's where your dreams go to die. Is because it's
Accept
like yes,
change, accept something
yeah,
different.
yeah. So this week I'm trying to force myself to say yes to things, and even if it's things that I don't want to do, working out, I currently still have on pause because I still have a very decent issue with a rib
Oh
that
yeah,
I
that. Yeah.
yeah like literally hurt. I think I fractured it or something, and it's finally starting to get better, but only because I'm forcing myself to not do like I working on the car was pushing it.
And if you truly think it's a rib, it's like it's pointless to go to the doctor because they're just gonna be like,
Yeah, it's like a
well,
broken toe. Yeah, it's like they wrap it up and don't do anything. Okay,
here's
thanks.
some pain meds, which I
Yeah,
can get over the counter.
yeah, exactly. I'd rather not. So, so deciding that anyway, just trying to say yes to things and things that I need to do. And one of them is with my own company with stuff and things that me and Andy are working on that we're finally going to start messing with. We've said it for years, and both of us has always pushed stuff off. So tomorrow, late in the afternoon, we have a call where both him and I had a free 30 minutes to be able to actually go over. So I'm just
Nice.
stuff I'm putting off. I'm just gonna start saying yes to things that people invite us to. Gotta try to say yes to. Which I think um to like your wedding, we did that yoga thing in the morning that my sister
Mm,
ran for you guys, and
yeah, that was
we all
awesome.
we all mentioned a thing. My sister wanted us to mention a thing that we enjoy about Ryan and his new wife Corey. And I said, I just like how they're free spirited. They're always willing to do things. And I'm the opposite. I always I always have a reason not to do something and could find a reason on why I shouldn't do it. But it's to the point where I've become a hermit. So I just want to start saying yes more often. I mean,
Start
it's a
saying
little harder
yes.
with a kid to be able to just be like, yeah, sure, we'll go out that night. But
Well, you just leave the kid at home. He'll be
yeah,
fine.
yeah. I mean, he'll be fine. I mean, he's 4 now. It's good.
I said yes to something that I wasn't too like excited about it. It was volunteer work, right? So
Uh-huh.
I literally, yes, volunteering is volunteering, man. You're just working. You could be having fun doing something else, but again, it's for a good cause. So a little bit of shout out. M3F Festival just happened this past weekend in Phoenix. My buddy, it's all for charity. The whole family kind of runs it every single year. M3F Festival. He ran all of the volunteer work. Like he was the coordinator for all the volunteers, like 500 some plus volunteers that he had to get, one,
Wow.
schedule, two, and work the entire event while setting it up as well. So just a massive effort. So kudos to
Yeah.
him to doing all that. So I was like, fine, I'll do it. I sign up. And I get there to this festival, which is a outdoor festival in Phoenix. It's got no artists that I know. Um, but I go there and I'm like, this is awesome. I had a great time. We got free tickets into the place because you signed up to be uh, a volunteer. And he put me in the bar, and all I'm doing is like pouring beers for people. And everyone's coming up, and you could be, just, hey, what do you want? Pour the beer. Here you
Yeah.
go. Hey, what do you want? But there's live music going on, and it's really high energy. Like everybody coming up is like such a good mood. It was awesome. And I'm so glad I did it. I'll do it again next year. And maybe have a little bit better hours though. I worked the late shift on Saturday. So
Yeah. Yeah. So little
but
little
yeah,
bit of
say
a
yes to
drag there, but
things.
yeah, yeah, just getting yourself out of your normal, yes to something that's not different. And look, you ended up enjoying it, and you'll do it again, and potentially for other events too, right? If somebody asks you,
Yeah.
be more likely to say yes to it because you've already gotten yourself out of the comfort zone.
Yeah. It's just that unknown, like like what am I getting myself into when I volunteer? I didn't read a job description.
Yeah, yeah,
I
and
could have been anything.
like I have this isn't because of the last couple of years. This is just me in general. Like I have terrible anxiety when I'm around larger crowds of people. It's just very, very I don't know, it gives me bad anxiety. So the easiest way to explain it. To where it's almost like at certain moments in time, if it's just me and like nobody else I know, it's like almost like I'm having a panic attack at certain moments.
Mm,
And then me knowing I have that feeling makes me even more scared, right? With leading back to the topic I said about me always finding an excuse not to do things. So, uh, uh, uh not like saying volunteer for something, like there's things that we need to volunteer for, and I'm like, oh, well, I don't know people, and it
yeah.
just terrifies me. And what's funny is, my wife's always like, "Oh, well, you're so good. Like when you're around people, you're like always talking and have a thing." Um, I was like, "Well, when I'm forced to, yes, but
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, like you guys will have people over at your house and stuff, and like I don't know that many people, and I'm not just gonna walk up to somebody and start having a conversation. But if somebody comes over and has a conversation with me, I'm fine, right?
Yeah.
It's just force myself out of that situation.
Yeah, and kudos to Corey too. My wife, she did a volunteer for media at this event. And so she got a full access media pass to be like on stage taking pictures, and in the front row where they have the section before the stage and the crowd, like they
Mhm.
have a separation point, she could like go in there and take pictures, and that is so out of her comfort zone, but a huge opportunity to learn and to grow and to see if that's something that she would want to even be interested in, right?
Yeah,
So just accepting change, saying yes in awkward situations. I 100% agree. Yes theory to a certain extent.
yeah, 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 yeah. Within reason. Yeah,
Within reason,
yeah.
since we, most of us slightly average guys and gals listening, have full-time jobs, maybe have families, can't necessarily say yes to everything.
Very true. Very true. Well, let me ask you a question. You guys have, I think, recently been looking at air purifiers. We're finally to that. Every few days, we're at the perfect temp here in Arizona
Mm,
to actually have windows open, which is very rare because everybody thinks, oh, it's Arizona, it's nice all the time. No, it's like you have like 3 to 4 weeks where it's like the perfect moment where you can have your windows and doors open, and then it's too cold before that, and it's too hot after that because you have to have the AC or the heater on.
yeah,
Crazy, crazy. So, like, our air quality is, like, absolutely terrible inside the home. So today I had the windows open, and it's like, get all the funk out of the house and
absolutely.
actually have,
Yeah.
like, real one. So
Make
I
it
think you
smell like
guys
fresh air.
yeah, I think you guys are looking at, some air purifiers, which I wanna know, about what you heard about them because, uh, if you have you bought it yet? That's first off.
Oh God, no.
Okay. Alright, then I need
I
you to
want it
ask
though.
okay. Are you going through a salesperson or is it just, like, you
Let
off
me
the cuff?
ask you a question. Have you heard of this thing?
The rainbow one?
Have
No,
you
like
heard of the rainbow air purifier?
no, not I mean, I've heard
Okay.
of like, I've got one that's called the Molecule.
Okay.
I got that one. I've heard of, like, 2 other brands that I can't think off the top of my head, but they're not rainbow.
Let
And,
me sorry, go ahead.
go ahead, because I just got
So
a follow-up
this
question.
air, this air purifier you can't buy online. It's not a it's like a no Amazon. You either have to have a sales consultant in your home or you have to go get it through a like a distributor, but
Okay.
no online stuff at all. This air purifier, we had so one of Corey's friends bought it, and to potentially get it for free, she had to show it to X amount of other people. And if X amount of those people bought it, it's like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, yeah, what's funny is I was gonna ask you as soon as you said, "Yeah, that's not online, it's only through distributors." I'm like, "Man, this sounds like,
No joke. It's kind of it's very weird how they do this, but the thing is magical. Magical. So I swept. I would say I'm decently clean. I swept just before we wiped off the tables, all this good stuff. And this guy was doing a demonstration. His full demonstration, because we listened to everything, was 3 hours.
holy crap."
Yeah, 3 hours. So the thing does multiple things. It's an air purifier, number one, but it has many attachments and hookups to actually do sweeping, mopping. Uh, you can like clean your grout with it. You can scent an entire room with just a couple squirts of like something. It's a whole box of things in one.
Okay.
The most amazing part, yeah, it cleans the air, like whatever. I don't really care about that. I sweep mostly. I sweep the house. And this guy swept over what I did. This he picked a square, one by one square, and just kept sweeping over it. And he pulled out little dust things that go, okay, here's what came up this time. Here's what came up this time. Here's what came up this time. Dust after dust after dust after debris just kept sucking up through this carpet in this one by one square foot thing. I'm like, is this what I'm missing? He did an example on the carpet. He goes, sweep this area real quick just in case you missed it with my normal sweeper. And again, just stuff constantly kept coming up. And he was showing me like, this is no joke. Like this is what's being come up. So if you and here's kind of how it works. Here's why it's so good. If you take your normal sweeper and you take out the filters, you're instantly like there's dust everywhere. You shake
Mhm.
it and it's just like poof, just
Yeah,
like dust falling. So when you wipe off a counter, is it better to wipe off dust with a wet rag or a dry rag?
I'd say wet.
Wet, right? Because dust
Yeah.
will stick to the wetness.
Uh-huh.
The whole concept of this air purifier slash cleaner is dust gets sucked in via like massive amounts of suction and there's different settings and stuff and it gets sucked into this water tank and you use this water tank not only to purify the air which has an in and an out to push out the clean air but that's what also happens with sweeping and cleaning sucks in all this debris. It goes into the water tank. You don't
Mm.
empty out when you empty out the thing in a sweeper and you dump it in the trash. Poof,
Oh, it's
even when
everywhere,
you dump it in the trash, it's everywhere.
and there's still so much left in the stupid little bin thing.
And the filters.
Mhm.
So the water is the filtration. There's no other filters. And all you do is dump the water out when you're done down the drain. So two, like, unless there's big stuff, I'm sure you can like throw it in the trash that gets
Yeah.
sucked up. This thing was amazing. Cost, guess.
$1,200.
It came, it had a big thing, probably about this big. It was on rollers. You can connect it to a sweeper. If you bought it that day, they literally took your sweeper away from you. They said, I take your sweeper if you buy this today. It had a sweeper. It came with multiple connections, mops, all this stuff. Retail, well, I don't want to say retail because you can't really buy it, but if we did it that day, we would have saved $800 from $4,500.
Holy shit.
But this thing was amazing. So we would have bought this thing for like $3,800. You can do payment plans, but interest is like 29%.
Mhm.
So it's like the whole thing is very weird on how they do it. It sounds very pyramid schemey, but
Yeah.
they're not asking you to join the pyramid scheme. They just have a product from it.
Yeah. And Roger in the chat said Rainbow. This is before you even said that it was a sweeper. He said Rainbow used to make sweepers the same way. They were really good and lasted for years. So must be the
Oh,
same company that's still around, doing that same
yeah.
entire thing.
And
Okay,
just a
so
little bit more, sorry. They said hospitals use these, warehouses use these because you can put one and it covers up to like 2,500 square feet. They started naming famous people that have these, and I'm like, well, yeah, no shit, they have them because they have millions of dollars.
well, okay,
I
so
really wanted it though.
you answered the things in the way that I wanted you to because you said
All right.
A, it's not online. B, it actually has a salesman and that you can ask wild ass questions to.
Oh, I
So
did too.
it's way too damn much money. But like, man, if it would have been at 1,200, it would have been
I
just to
would have bought
do
it for 2,500.
just to do this one functionality. Been like, I'll buy it today if it could pass one test. They're gonna be like, well, what the hell's the test? They're like, I want to fart into this thing, and if I smell it, you get out of my house immediately. If I don't smell it, we got a deal.
It's a fart vaporizer.
Yeah, better if it's supposed to air purified from start. Like, I want proof. I'm gonna let out the worst Taco Bell fart ever. Come back Thursday morning.
But it is amazing how oh god, dude, I love this thing. I'm obsessed. If I had another opportunity, maybe when my bonus comes in, I'll just have another guy come out. I'm not shitting you, Ryan. This thing was awesome.
I mean, for the fact that it does that many things, pretty cool. But
35-year warranty.
I mean, who's gonna remember you have a warranty after 35
That's a
months,
lifetime
let alone
warranty.
yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. I mean, they better give you a reach around too for that price, though. I mean, maybe it's got an attachment. You didn't list off every attachment, so maybe it does, and I just didn't know. So
Yeah.
you just went into the dark side.
I just went into the dark side? What?
Yeah, now you're instantly almost like pitch black now. There we go.
Oh, really?
There we go. Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I'm doing, and that's why I went dark for a second. I am commenting on the chat and just posting that in there.
Yeah,
How
they're
do
saying
I do that?
attachments.
How do I post to the chat? Anyways, sorry, keep going.
You should be able to do it inside of StreamYard where we're at.
That's where I'm at, but
Oh, at the bottom it says post all. Well, of course I'm in as the primary.
I post that. Yeah, whatever.
And you can
Anyways,
go to YouTube and post it too.
yeah, just go to rainbowsystems.com. Rainbowsystems.com.
Rainbow, not Rambo.
And enter in promo code so I get a bonus. I'm just kidding. Totally pyramid scheme, right? No, I don't care.
Now you're shaking down our listeners for some craziness.
Yeah,
here let's.
And I do have a twist. I got something that I'm kind of not telling you. And it's not about this rainbow vacuum. It's about something that I've mentioned a couple times already. I have a little surprise for you, I guess, in the sense of I'm not telling the full truth. And I'll mention that after we're done here for all of those listeners who stay on.
Okay. All right. Now I'm a little I'm sketched out. I was about to bring this up and talk about how they have frozen berry for the scents and candy
And I'm not,
canes.
yeah. If you go through this website, just again, it's expensive as shit, like $4,500 if you just, or like, whatever. But if you watch their videos and just understand, I've never seen a demonstration so perfect.
Is it loud for like the air purifier stuff? Is it like sitting there going
In hurricane mode, yeah, they have like different modes. Hurricane mode is what you sweep with. But honestly, it was probably quieter than my normal sweeper. But yes, if it's like on all day, because they say you're supposed to leave it on all day. It's an air
Yeah.
purifier. It's what you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. If it's really supposed to be
Um
on.
it's I've never had an air purifier, so I can't necessarily tell you if it's loud or not. Um
I mean, they're not quiet,
I
the
don't
ones
know.
I have, because the ones that will do a larger area of room, but it's not like you're screaming over it. It's just it's making a noise, like, back in the back of the
Yeah,
room. It's like
it
white
may be
noise.
like, if the washer was on or something, you know, with the
Yeah.
door closed, just like kind of muffled.
All right. Let's move on
Let's do it.
because I'm worried that you may end up calling this guy back and buying a
I
ridiculously
I want
expensive
one.
vacuum.
$4,000
If
vacuum.
yeah, yeah, you should have been like, "Hey, here's the deal. We have this podcast, and you can go ahead and sponsor and by giving me one, and we'll talk it up." And anyway,
Should have.
all right, all right. So, question to you now. That's not related to a vacuum cleaner at all.
Bummer.
But it's a question that you posed about staycations. Like, what's your feeling on them? Like, what do you have a question about? I feel like they're pretty cut and dry, but you may have something that's going to cut deep here.
I I don't I it just I don't even remember how this came up. But we live in Arizona. If we want to do a staycation, I think that pretty clearly means we're gonna stay in Arizona but go on a vacation. Like, I think that's clear. But where do we draw the line? Does a
Uh,
staycation mean you have to stay in the city? Or is it just Arizona? Because if I drive 8 hours up north to Payson or 4 hours up north to Payson, that's a vacation.
I
That's a long trip.
yeah,
That's not a staycation to me.
yeah. I would say if
What do
it's
you think?
within 45 minutes, it's definitely a staycation. And I'm
So
only
we're
saying that with Arizona because that's like the max time it would take you to drive from like Apache Junction to like the I don't know, Buckeye.
yeah.
You know, like
So we're drawing very clear lines here.
yeah, yeah, like because
So
we
you're
can't say
saying
city because we have so many cities that blend together. But like for
yeah,
us here in Phoenix proper, all of the different
metro
municipalities.
area.
Yeah, yeah, like Maricopa County. You're staying inside of Maricopa County is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so
Tom says here he's like staycation in Indiana is I'm not even leaving my damn house. I mean we have those here too every once in a while, but I'm just gonna say like yeah you're staying at a hotel or resort somewhere in your city.
okay.
That's gonna exist.
I just wanted to
If you
clear
have to
that up.
drive an hour, like you're already at a vacation at that point, and at that point it's like, hey, you had to pack everything up. It's kind of like shitty to go that far, right? Like, meaning you have to get like it wouldn't matter if it's an hour or if it's 8. Might as well go to some place that's decent.
Yeah. And that's honestly, I think that's from my side. That's a small area to consider it a staycation.
Yeah.
I would think going to like Prescott
No.
at the minimum, at maybe like maximum, I
No.
would be a staycation. But then again, if you're going there, you're probably, well, hopefully not getting a hotel room.
If you
Let's
can't
let's
here, we'll make it real easy. We'll make it real easy. If you can't, you're already wherever you were going. Okay, you're already at your destination.
Mhm.
If you can't say to yourself, "Ah, damn, I forgot that," and go back and get it and not be mad about the fact that you had to drive that distance, it's no longer a staycation,
Oh.
right? So it'd be different if like we go over to Scottsdale and like, stay at a resort and you'd be like, "Ah, I forgot something." It's like, "All right, cool. Let's drive the 15 minutes home and then 15 minutes back is half an hour total." But like if you're an hour away, you're freaking like probably not going to do that.
We get it, Roger. You Googled it.
Uh,
Spent
you know,
in one's home. That's not Roger's wording. That's copy and paste.
that's way too proper to be him.
That's funny. But yeah,
Yeah.
I would tend to agree. If you're not driving home, you're not driving home if you fly anywhere, like, oh crap, forgot something. Sucks to suck.
Yeah. Now, what if you were a millionaire? Does it change by the value of money that you potentially have?
No, because time is time.
Oh, is like staying just you. Hey, yeah, you went to New York, my staycation because I didn't leave the country. You didn't take your private jet.
Well, it doesn't count as a staycation. It counts as a staycation if you have multiple homes. There we go.
Oh, yes,
Bomb
yes,
dropped.
yeah, yeah.
Bomb drop.
Yeah, I mean that's totally true. I see the loophole that you found there. But what qualifies a millionaire? I think you had a question for this one as well.
Oh, I see how you looped that in there.
Uh huh. Uh
That
huh.
was a good one. What qualifies a millionaire?
I think you asked a question on if you make $1 million a year for your job as a
I
salesman, right?
remember.
Yep.
Hmm.
Are you a millionaire, or do you need to have $1 million in the bank, cash ready to be a millionaire?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think
Yeah.
this one's super easy for me.
Okay. Which side are you on?
If you make $1 million a year, you are absolutely not a millionaire. You might have nice things. People may think you're a millionaire. You might have a nice home, but after taxes, after expenses, after family, food, everything under the sun that you spend not for leisure, you are not a millionaire. You
Mm,
better have $1 million in the bank immediately, and it could be $1 million exactly. But I don't think you're a millionaire unless you have $1 million in the bank.
well, the FDIC only insures $250,000, but in each bank account. So now we're getting semantics. Like, what if I have it invested? What if I have $1 million hotel property that I made $1 million? I bought a hotel. That hotel makes me like 10 grand a month. Right? The
That could
hotel, the value of the property is worth $1 million. I could sell it right now, even if the economy turned down for my $1 million back. But it's throwing off 100 grand in
but
cash a
all
year.
that stuff can depreciate.
Yes, but it's a cash asset. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
Okay.
unlike your car that is depreciating and only costs you more money because of maintenance and everything else, the hotel pays all of its fees, pays its own mortgage, right? And you get 10 grand back every single
I
month.
will accept assets.
Okay. All right. All right. I would say that that's exactly how a millionaire would actually think. That's what I was trying to back you into a corner on. Like, well, this is why you don't have a millionaire brain.
I'm not even close.
Yeah. Because when I first read how you wrote that, I thought you meant as like you were a salesman and you did $1 million worth of sales for the company. I'm like, that ain't your money. That's like saying, hey,
Yeah.
I passed by my uncle, in his multi-million-dollar house. Ain't my house.
Yeah. I made our CEO $1 million. I'm a
Yeah.
millionaire. No, you ain't. Um, yeah. I agree assets can be included in that, but you're
Okay.
not a millionaire unless you can physically show something that
Yeah,
you
your
know you
net
have money
worth
back.
needs to be at $1 million, but
I'll go
because
down to
you have
that level,
assets and stuff.
yes.
Yeah. Now, if you don't got a single dollar, and you're like, there's certain millionaires that are millionaires because they're so stingy, and like they would go to like dinner and ask you to pay, even though they're the ones with the money. So,
Has that
just
happened to you?
no, I'm just saying
Oh,
that
okay.
actually, yes. If you want to be 100% honest, yes.
Hey,
When I've
you paying
worked,
for this?
when I've worked at the former large franchise that
Oh,
we built from
geez.
the ground up, a lot of those owners, after all those years, just expected us to pay. It's like I don't, you know what I make? Yeah. Well, don't the company pay for it? No, you know what we make compared to you make? Like, again, yeah, it's funny, funny,
That
very
is
funny.
ridiculous. You should punch those people.
Yeah. 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 It wasn't like when you were just opening and they've been writing checks. It's like, 10 years after and you go out to dinner with them. And I'm not expecting them to pay for me. I'll pay for myself. That's
Yeah,
just,
no, exactly. But
yeah.
like,
You pay for you, I'll pay for me. We'll live that.
exactly. I thought you were going down the loop. Like, if you're a millionaire and you go out to dinner with anybody, you should just automatically pay because you have
No,
money.
no,
No, that's
no.
not how the world works.
Yeah. No,
Get your
no.
head out of the gutter.
Yeah.
Make your own, whatever. I don't know.
Well,
But
it's like famous people, right? Famous people, most of them, like let's say actresses and actors, and musicians and stuff, right? They're most of them are very very wealthy. They'll go out and they get stuff for free all the time just because places want them to be there, and it's like, yeah, but they also can afford. It's just funny, funny
yeah,
how the world works. Funny how the
yeah, I
world
know.
works. Yeah. But let me ask you then, if how long do you think it would take you to make $1 million? Like right now, if I gave you like you still had to do your normal gig potentially, right? Like just said tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
you need to start working on something on top of your normal day job in order to make $1 million,
Hmm.
right? And I will even allow you to use whatever your salary is
To help.
as the first mark, right? So you make 50 grand. Okay, you're starting with 50 grand a year. You can do that times the number of years in order to get the retarded amount of years that it would take you to make $1 million
Okay.
off of that. How long do you think if we challenged it? How long do you think it would take you to make $1 million? I'm not even gonna ask you how. Just how
If
long
you
do you
put
think?
a timer on that, I'd at least say like 15 years.
Think so?
I mean, yeah, just because I don't know where to
Or
start.
or the reason why I'm asking is because if you go all the way
Procrastinating.
back, we go all the way back to the beginning conversation that we had about procrastination. If you said you were going to and you made it an absolute in your brain, that's like that. Nope, I'm just gonna do it. I don't know how, but I'm gonna do it. And it's only looking at everything as the next step. I need to make
Okay.
$100 this week,
If I
$500
change my
next week.
mentality and change different
Like
things,
15 years, I agree. Probably definitely can do it at the 15-year mark, right?
if I was a go-getter, which I think we're all go-getters in our own
Mhm.
way. Um, and we're all competitive in our own ways, right?
Yep.
But if we all had the same drive as certain people do who are very successful, and I had opportunities, I'm sure I could turn that $50,000 that you said into $1 million, maybe 3 to 5 years.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you the 3-year number. I'll give you the 3-year number. I want to see if it's possible to do it in a year, to be honest. But I've talked about this one of the very
A
first
long
first
time ago.
yeah, one of the very first episodes of the podcast is like a literally, again, the yes theory thing is like, okay, I should or get off the pot. Let's just try it, right? And like, where do you start? I don't care. How do you make $100 this week? That's all it is. The next week it's like, okay, well, how do I make 200? How do I make 500? You know, and
Yeah.
it's funny because when you actually think about it, whether you watch Gary Vee or somebody else or any of these people talk and mention stuff online, right? They're like, to make like 3 grand, it's actually not hard, right? They're like, it's not hard in our current world because of the nice little handy dandy thing we have in our hands, right?
Yeah.
Which is like you can literally go on Facebook Marketplace, find stuff that's listed for free, or your own house on stuff you have been sitting around forever. Now, maybe not you because you could just move, so you've cleaned, gone through stuff. But like, there's so much stuff that you just accumulate that you can get rid of. Like this 3D printer behind me, right? Things like that. That's like easy stuff to sell. Like 3 grand. Now, when you're wanting to turn 3 grand into 10 grand, now those are the steps that start to get a little bit harder, right? And you
Yeah.
have to kind of
And that's where my brain first went to, is like, if I had to start making 3 grand, like, quickly, or do something quickly to make money, I just probably go buy and resell stuff.
Mhm. Yeah. Literally, there's such an arbitrage, and you can literally buy stuff at the Dollar General and
That's
friggin'
all
sell it on
Amazon
Amazon.
is. People just buy
Literally.
stuff and they're selling stuff.
Yeah, like, there's things on TikTok all along that these people are like, "Hey, yeah, the Walmart right now has all of these shelf things for, they're normally $150 for this racking, and right now they're $25." And they're,
Yeah.
like, going and buying every single one. I'm like, "How did you find that out, though?"
Yeah. I ever heard of a website called Alibaba?
Yeah. I'm like, that's just nuts. But I like I the funny thing is I said this before, it would force me to do so many things that I would normally overthink because that's currently my brain. It's overthinking everything. To be like, it has to be perfect. I have to know how to do this and I have to be good at sales and I have to versus you just jump into it and you'll become good at those by failing and trying and failing and trying. Imperfect massive action is better than perfect inaction.
Yeah. And another thing too, time, right? I mean,
Mhm.
time spent with family, time spent, um, I don't know, time spent anywhere, right? You're taking time away and doing something else that could be unsuccessful. And that's, again, the scary part of why probably a lot of people don't do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we're all indoctrinated from the schooling system that's supposed to be a good little soldier, and not army wise, but like the whole system was built to be factory workers. That was the whole reason why you have the school day that you have is so that way you sit in one area or stand in that area and do this one task until you move on to that next task, and then clock out and be happy with the day, and then come back and do it the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and hey, you
Yeah.
get 2 days off. Like
You didn't teach me
I
how to buy a house. You didn't teach me about taxes. You didn't teach me about
No,
finances.
because there's no benefit in them teaching you any of that stuff, right? They want you to be a good little worker. That's what they want. They
Well, I am.
yeah, yeah. Just go do that, and then go to get some more school, and then take some more debt out for us, and then you can get a better job, and then this and that. Anyway, if the whole purpose of me going on this rant is again, yes, theory, step out of your comfort zone and push yourself, and it's amazing what you may stumble across. And I think I think I may change and actually try it. And maybe it's not $1,000,000. Maybe I'll say, how can I make 100 grand outside of my day to day job?
Just start slow, man. You could start as low as you want. How do I
Exactly.
make two hundred
I'm
dollars
okay.
this week?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with like whatever because that's what I would do. I would just break it down to be like, I just want something simple. Like, okay, it's
Yeah.
$100 this week,
I
right?
mean, start off
And
with something you can
yeah,
achieve.
but I want the overall number to be something that's like
Of
literally.
course, we all do.
I mean, you're talking making 100 grand a month like that. When you say it like that, you say, oh, I want to make $1,000,000, 1.2 million. It's 100 grand a month. Like it seems mind boggling when you try to break it down like that, but it's like you're not ever going to get to that overnight. You just keep building, and then now you got an investment property, an Airbnb, and then
How do I make
Turo
$500 this week?
car, and yeah,
How do I
it's
make 10,000, 1000, or
ten hundred,
$1,000 in
ten
3
hundreds.
weeks? 10 hundreds.
How do I make 10 hundredths, guys? I don't
It's
know how to
about
make 10.
progress. It's about
Yeah,
growing. It's
and
about
trying stuff that you don't like. Like I
yes.
I am terrible at sales. Like I'm so bad. And it's funny because if I'm not actually trying to sell the product, I do really well at selling the product because I'm not the salesperson. I, I don't have to try to close the deal, but me
You don't
just
have
talking about it.
KPIs.
Yeah, yeah. But if I'm just talking about it, I can tell you all the benefits and everything else because I
Yeah.
don't care if you buy. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. So anyway,
Do you wanna
that's
hear my,
yeah. I want to
do
hear what you were leaving out from earlier.
yeah, do you wanna hear my, wrench in things? I've mentioned it a couple times today. Here it is. My phone's broken. I broke my phone. I broke it. I physically threw my phone into a brick wall,
Ah,
and now I'm dealing with the karma of it,
yeah.
and I accept all of that karma. I understand what I did. I bring it on all of this stuff that's been like going wrong with trying to fix it. I accept all of it because it's all I deserve all of it because I'm the one that threw my phone into a brick wall.
All right. Well let me come at it from a different blessing way. Are you learning to because you can't be okay with the fact that you're disconnected? I mean, you're connected. Like you can pick it up if somebody calls and you don't know who the hell it is, but
I can't
um,
no.
oh, you can't even do that.
It
But
makes noise. I can't touch it though.
yeah, so like, cause I've literally been on the fence with buying an old like because you can buy new ones. Nokia has them flip phones that are just like, hey, it's going back to a phone, and it's got like WhatsApp and Google Maps on it if I want, because those are
I
the two
looked
things I
at
would need.
them. I
Yeah,
literally looked at them, and the one question that I have on all of them is I just want GPS. If I could have GPS, that's all I need, but I don't think they do that.
yeah. There are a few, but they don't work with a Google Fi. I'll let you know that. Yeah.
So I literally looked at a dumb phone. I looked at Amazon. I looked at YouTube videos of phones to buy that were dumb phones. I was there. I was right there.
Mhm.
I almost pulled the trigger, but I went to my insurance and filed a claim to fix my smartphone.
And if you're paying
Ah,
for insurance, you got to file a claim on it. I
but
mean, you
it
got to.
was almost like, hey, like it was a difference. Like, hey, I can't reach for my phone right now. It was
Mhm.
definitely a difference, but it was kind of like a, hey, this is kind of a good difference, good
Yeah,
change.
yeah, exactly. Like, and that's just what I want. Like go back, get rid of it. And if I don't have it, then I won't be like picking it up to like just then check stupid stuff. Like, so. But yeah, you should look up like I think they're called like Nokia Classic phones or something like that. And there's a few of them that they have that can do that has the like Google Maps and stuff on it. But again, they don't work with Google Fi because
Yeah,
Google Fi
certain
has to have
carriers
theirs.
and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
almost everything works with Verizon or T-Mobile directly. They just Google Fi has their special thing that they have to
Yeah.
load, and it doesn't
And
work
I
with those.
found a bunch of like cheap phones. You can get really cheap phones, like $100 phones, but at the end of the day, they're still technically smartphones.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I think that's it for this week. We appreciate everybody joining us in the shenanigans. They're in the chat talking with us. Like I said at the beginning of the show, share it, like it, subscribe, um, post it, put it in the bathroom stall at your work. This is Slightly Average Guys podcast. We don't care how you get the name out there. We just ask that you share it with us, with others, so that way we all can be fulfilled by our
Stop
podcast
procrastinating.
shenanery.
Share it.
Exactly.
Say
Exactly.
yes.
Thanks everybody. We will see you next week.